This conference will now be recorded.
So this today is a bit of a PSA on some recent developments with NIST and FIPS 140-3 certification. So if that affects you, this might be of interest. Let me just toss this up on the screen real quick. This was so we have previously had this conversation, shared this deck. The TLDR of that is that asymmetric key derivation, like deterministic asymmetric key derivation, is currently not allowed by any by FIPS 140-3, but the situation is ambiguous enough that sometimes you can do it and sometimes you can't, depending on what narrative your validation lab accepts. So we asked NIST to allow one of these two paths for making deterministic asymmetric keys, because you kind of need to do that if you're doing dice. Well, you don't have to do it if you're doing dice, but it becomes a lot more annoying to do dice and attestation if you can't make your keys deterministically, because then you have to like generate it and seal it away for later. Gets really tricky to do that. And it's not just dice. There are many other applications where you kind of want to make your keys deterministically from some secret seed. Anyways, that gave this back in March, and the PSA is that as of last week, we now have a path forward. NIST has published a letter. I'll toss this up. This letter basically says exactly what we wanted. It's written from NIST CTG to CMVP labs, saying that there are several modules that allow you to derive asymmetric and symmetric keys from a secret value. This is not currently allowed. In 2017, there was a process established for providing some allowances for this, but only for TPMs, Trusted Platform Module Specifications. So the CMP is now going to allow other types of cryptographic modules seeking validation to use that process. That process means currently any module that wants to do asymmetric key derivation deterministically needs to tell NIST exactly what they're doing and how, and then CTG will go review that on a case-by-case basis. So they're not blanket stating what's allowed yet, and the special publications have not been updated to say that it's okay, but flow allows these modules a path toward certification.
Where can we get a copy of the letter?
I will toss it up on the OCP drive. We can send out a link to that, to the OCP mailing list. Yeah, it's kind of hard to.
I was going to ask, it sounds like this is not available on the NIST website. It was only provided to one entity, right?
It was provided directly to all the CMVP evaluation labs.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Which was this is the same kind of problem from, this letter alludes to a 2017 letter and that was similarly hard to find, because TPMs have been certified, have been getting certified, and TPM primary key derivation is deterministic. How is that being done? Well, there was a letter written. It was almost identical to this letter that's on the screen now, but that letter was not very widely known, so not many people knew about it.
I will say, and Jeff, you were the one that uploaded it. I wish that it was somebody from CMVP or something that had, but where they've started to put these kinds of things now is CMUF, the Cryptographic Module Users Forum. They have an internal site, but anybody can sign up and get access there. And they've been putting other similar kinds of things when they have a certain kind of ruling that they think more people should be aware of, then they've been posting it there. It doesn't end up being publicly, like you don't just see it on the NIST website, but if you go there, you can find things where it's basically emails and other responses that they've had to things like requests for guidance and stuff like that to share learning of this is how we view this, our interpretation of this requirement, things like that.
Thomas, do you think there would be any blowback from NIST if we put this on OCP, or should we just tell people to go to CMUF? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay, well, forgiveness permission. I'll just put it up there.
Yeah, I just brought up the CMUF because that there are other things. If that seems to be like, if they don't want to publish it like officially through NIST, like the NIST website, then they tend to put kind of more informal things posted in CMUF. So
yeah, and we were told to go share it with other standards bodies, so I think it's okay.
yeah.
But yes, I would recommend. I only relatively recently got in with CMUF, and it's a good place to be to stay abreast of other developments in this space. I don't. No, this is a brand new process, right? And while ostensibly this is the same process that they established for TPMs, I'm not aware of auditing labs actually I'm not aware of any submissions that are of this format. So it's a little bit of a treading new ground here. We have a few modules in the pipeline that will be running through this process, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
I just wanted to check and make sure I found the right CMUF. It's cmuserforum.onlyoffice.co.
Yeah, that's the internal one. So it's cmuf.org is the like public facing, and then there's a collaboration tool link that you click on there, but it eventually takes you to that URL that you just mentioned, Paul.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, a lot of they also have like a common criteria user forum. They all use the OpenOffice platform for the internal stuff.
Okay, thanks.
So any other questions or comments on this derivation topic? Cool.
One comment that I'll have in terms of like the process and submitting, it does say that it is a lab that needs to submit the proposal of derivation method, but it is not. It doesn't seem like it needs to necessarily be tied to a specific module validation. It's kind of more generic, and so well, my hope is that we can submit like generic proposals that are not tied to specific products, and then or specific modules that are being validated, and then somehow get kind of a blanket approval that if you use SP 800-108 KDF with 256-bit key size with blah blah, then that usage is allowed. And then eventually, my hope is that there will be an implementation guidance or something that just kind of calls out some of these examples and just says, look, if you use this, then you should be fine. You know, we're not there yet. So for now, it's still this whole process that you have to submit your design, and then they supposedly will evaluate it and say yes or no.
Yeah, our contact at CMVP said as much, exactly what you said, that they will be intending to publish IGs with these allowed key derivation flavors. The reading of the letter here seems to indicate it's going to be tied to a module, so I don't know how that'll work. Used within such modules under validation, used by a particular module. So yeah, I would hope that eventually we can get some blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are working in CMUF to try and set up some kind of collaboration with NIST CTG to actually amend their SP800 documents so that we don't need this letter anymore. That a plain reading will just tell the labs what they need to look for. So far, we've made overtures and we got some good response from CMVP, but CTG, the ones who actually write the documents, we haven't heard back from yet. So we'll keep bugging them about it. But hopefully this is some good news. I think it's going to make life a lot easier for these modules, especially the ones that are already kind of in the pipeline and do derivation a certain way and can't really easily change it. Okay, well, let's see. Next, yeah. So sorry, I wasn't able to put together something for the rest of today, but next week, Brian indicated he'd be willing to talk about device provenance.
Yeah, I'm trying to update the calendar. I seem to have lost edit access to the calendar. Do you still have edit access, Jeff?
Yes, I'll go do that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I tried with both accounts and they both lost it.
Device provenance. Can you elaborate a little bit just on what you mean, like supply chain security, like hardware supply?
Yeah, supply chain security. You know, we're making a lot of progress on the firmware stuff. I think and we're going to talk about that at OCP at the Global Summit. I think the one thing that's not kind of been on the docket, at least for a while, has been hardware provenance and how that's managed. So I can come next week and give an update on that.
Okay. Something that might intersect as well with the recent presentation on supply chain security from NVIDIA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, well, I will get this letter uploaded to OCP website, so I'll link out in this. Happy certifying. And till next week.
Thanks, Jeff.